Every founder and CEO I talk to has the same exact problem. There's just not enough hours in the day, in the week, the month, or even the year, really. And too much of the time that we have goes to things that could and should be automated. Hi, I'm Travis McBurney. I founded McBurney Group, where we build custom AI solutions for your specific operations. We train your people how to use them and help you think clearly on where and how AI can help your business. The point just isn't just about saving time. It's also making sure your business can keep up with AI as AI changes, what competition even looks like.
Okay, cool. All right.
Hi, Thomas. Firstly, thank you very much for being on my podcast.
Sure, no problem.
So I've gone through your profile. I can see you're doing great work in different roles and responsibilities. So I thought to tell about your work to my audience.
Okay.
So can you please introduce yourself to my audience?
Sure. My name is Thomas Troyer. I'm the CEO of Wholesale Processing Systems, Second Amendment Processing, KindPay USA, and we're recently just announced that we're going to be launching Sports Mentor here relatively in the near future. I've been in the payment space for about 20 years. I've been on advisory boards. I've helped multiple large companies solve their payment processing problems. So with us, it's not just about, what can we always save you? Like, what does it matter what we save you if we can help solve your problems and make it more efficient, bring you more customers, and things of that nature. We've always focused on helping partnering with businesses as opposed to just providing processing service, and we help their businesses grow as opposed to just, hey, here's your payment processing.
So you are based in?
Say that again.
You are from?
We're based out of here in the United States in Michigan.
So you provide the payment services for different businesses in United States.
Well, we do the United States, Mexico, Canada. We do have a few clients that are overseas in Europe and everything. So we kind of have we have clients all over the place. So it's not just here in the United States, but 99% of all of our clients are here in the United States.
So 20 years of serving. So how is it, and how you are feeling now?
Good, great. I think I actually am not a big technology person myself. So when I first got into the industry, it was like there was the dial-up service, the old, if you remember, like the AOL and how it sounded. That's like what taking a credit card was like. So now to where people can just tap on their phone, bing. It's all fascinating and interesting to me. I love learning about it. I love seeing it explode and grow. It's actually changing how we market. It's changing how we recruit new people to work for the company. It's changed a lot of things, and I believe it's changed a lot of things for both good and bad, but more good than bad.
Can you tell us how it works?
How the process?
How does it work?
Sure, it's just, processing is a complex but not complex industry. So most people don't realize this, but there are fees that no matter who you use as far as processing, those fees have to be paid, right? That's called interchange, right? Now, interchange goes to your card issuing bank, right? So whenever you're going out and you're shopping with your card on it, let's say it's got Citi Card or Capital One or the numerous other banks out there that issue the cards on them, right? Every time you spend on that card, the interchange on that card goes back to that bank that issued that card. It's kind of a little bit of like a safety net, or what I would say for the banks, because let's be real, in today's world, not everybody pays their credit card bills on time, right? So that kind of it spreads out the risk, the risk pool for that bank as far as the number of cards and everything that they issue out. That's one thing. And then you got the card brand association. So like your Visa, your MasterCard, American Express, Discover, you have their network fees. Their network fees are unavoidable. You got to pay those, doesn't matter who you process with. And then everything else is the markup, right? You see things like PCI compliance. That's a complete made up fee. We don't have PCI. We have PCI compliance, but to where you got like the big companies, the big tech companies, they're charging anywhere between $60 a month to $300 a year. Our PCI compliance, we're like, this is a hassle for our merchants. We don't even make our merchants do the PCI compliance. We get them compliant on the back end, and they're charged $50 one time a year. All right. So I've taken a lot of the things that when I worked for the larger processing companies. I worked for Vantiv, which is WorldPay. When I worked for them, I watched and I learned what are the customer headaches? What are the customers not like, right? And I learned that in this industry, there's a 19% annual attrition rate every year with your big processing companies like Fiserv, which is Clover. You have FIS, Heartland, WorldPay, Global. All of those, they have a huge turnover. Think about 19%. That's basically every 5 years you have to have a complete brand new book of business, right? I said there's got to be a better way to build a mousetrap. Why is this after 5 years are we having to rebuild book of business all the time? And it was, number one, poor customer service. Very poor customer service. Having to call in and punch in 20 numbers and 30 minutes, 40 minutes on hold before you actually got to speak to a live person. We eliminated that. Right? We eliminated that. So when somebody calls us, they can call us, email us, and text us, and they're guaranteed to get a reply if it's within business hours within 15 minutes, 10 minutes tops. I think our average right now is 3 minutes. So that's one huge solution that we solved, right? Customers love that. They know that they can get a hold of us and get whatever issues happen to pop up. Most of the time, if customers call us, it has to be usually a tech issue, right? I live in Michigan, and many parts of the United States has what's called daylight savings time. So one of our most popular times that we get calls is when daylight savings times happen, and the terminal itself didn't update properly. It may cause a delay. But like when customers were calling these big box like Fiserv, they would wait 45 minutes to an hour to that. We take 3 minutes to get a hold. 3 minutes to get a hold of, and we fix it for them. Huge customer success. Our retention rate, retention rate is 98.2% on an annual basis. Our annual attrition rate is less than 2%, and it's because we put our customers first. We have a team that their entire existence is based around making sure that they call our customers on a regular basis. We thank them for their business, because without your customers, you don't exist. Right? First and foremost, no customers, no existence, no pay, no nothing. So we call and we thank our customers on a regular basis for being our customer. We make sure that they got their billing. We make sure that they understand it, and make sure that they have any questions, we're there to answer it for them. We're proactive instead of reactive. I guess the best way to put it.
What kind of businesses that you are collaborated with and you are serving for?
Pretty much any business that takes a credit card. We have retail stores that are brick and mortar. We have online companies, e-commerce. We have companies that have both online e-commerce. We have like HVAC companies that are like mobile, right? So they need payments for their drivers or plumbers or stuff of that nature. Then we have companies that have all three, which is an omni-channel solution. So we provide a complete package for everything a business would need.
So what is the eligible criteria in order to get this?
To get approved? So basically, if a customer calls us today, we send them out a link. That link has everything that they need to fill out, has all their general information that we can link to ensure that they own the business, right? Then we want to make sure that their business is all their business information is in there, because if we do get them approved, we got to know where they want their money deposited. So we need all that basic business information. Goes into our underwriting system. Once it's underwritten, and then we deploy the equipment or the bar sheet, the gateway if needed, if it's e-commerce.
So 20 years of experience, what it taught you, and how is the users' feedback and experience?
Well, I didn't have any even knowledge of what merchant processing was 20 years ago. right? I just knew I went to the store, I used my credit card or debit card, and it worked, right? I didn't know that the name behind it was merchant processing. I actually sold radio advertisement, and I sold radio advertisement to a bank called Fifth Third. Well, a few months later, they messaged me and they said, "Hey, we think you'd be perfect for our merchant services division. How can, do you have any interest?" And I'm like, "What's merchant services?" And they brought me in. They showed me what merchant services was. I said, "So I get to work with I've always loved working with business owners. My grandparents were business owners, so I grew up, with that work ethic. That, hey, if you work for yourself, you build your dreams. If you work for somebody else, you're building theirs, right?" So I've always had that mindset. My grandmother used to tell me that at least once a week. So then I got into the merchant processing industry. Within 90 days, I was the #1 salesperson in the company. And it wasn't because I was out. It was basically because I was working. I've always had a great work ethic. I went out and I spoke to customers. I found out what their issues were. I found out why they were having issues, what kept them awake at night. And then I solved those problems for them, and they gladly did business with me. Funny story about a particular customer of ours. I was in their business. They wanted to do business with me, but they had a point of sale system that we weren't compatible with. At least at the time. We are now, but at the time we weren't compatible with them. But I had asked the customer, I'm like, "Hey, if this pen right here was a magic wand, what problems could I solve for you?" And that customer said spoons, right? I'm in a restaurant, right? The customer said spoons. And I looked at him and I'm like, "Spoons? I'm in merchant processing. How am I going to solve your spoon problem?" And he had said how customers had dropped the spoons down in the trash, and the dishwashers and busboys didn't dig through the trash to make sure that they got the spoons out. So he was constantly having to buy silverware, mainly spoons, right? So fast forward that he's like, "I want to do business with you, but I want to spend money on a brand new point of sale system." All right, no problem, right? So I left there. A couple weeks later, I'm in another restaurant talking to a customer, and I hear clink, and I'm like, "What was that?" And he goes, "Oh, I got this magnetic band that goes around my trash can, that every time a customer or somebody goes to throw away a piece of silverware, the magnet sucks that silverware to the side, and then my employees who are not going to want to reach in the trash, they just got to peel it off from the side, the top, right at the top." And I'm like, "What's the name of that company?" And he told me the name of it, where did you get it from, so on and so forth. I immediately called the other customer and I said, "I got a solution to your spoon problem." And here it is. I told him about the magnetic band to go around his trash can, right? And he was like, "Oh my God, thank you so much." Well, he still didn't do business with me because he just didn't want to buy a brand new point of sale system. Well, 2, maybe 3 years later, he calls me up out of the blue, right? I actually kind of totally lost track of the customer, to be honest. Being busy and serving so many other customers. He's like, "Hey," he's like, "Are you still doing merchant processing?" I'm like, "Yeah, actually I am. I got my own company now and everything." And he's like, "Oh, fantastic." He's like, "What point of sale systems do you work with? I want to use you." He's like, "Your magnet that solved my spoon problem, I still use it to this very day." He goes, "I'll never forget how you helped me out that." He's like, "Nobody else was." He's like, "I decided not to do business with you at the time, but yet you still called me back and solved my problem." That is the difference of doing business with us or with anybody else. That is why. That's what motivates me, is to help people and solve their problems. I mean, I'm a veteran. I served in the military. I literally, I believe in service. My grandmother always, another saying that my grandmother always said is, "If you help enough people get what they want, you'll get what you want." So I've always had that mindset of helping as many people achieve what they want to achieve and get what they want and solve their problems, because then it solves mine as well.
True. And tell us, responding in 3 minutes.
Sure.
Right. So responding in 3 minutes. So achieving this in giving the user experience. So tell us about your team.
I have a great team, right? My team is my tech guy. His name is John John is the tech guy, customer service. He's the one that you can get a hold of at any time to help fix your issue. John, also a veteran, served in the military. He's also a family member. He's my cousin. So, a little nepotism going on now and then don't hurt nothing. But I will tell you, being the fact that he is family, he probably would tell you that I'm harder on him than I am other people because I push him to be the best because I expect more. He's family, right? I don't want anybody to say that I don't hold him accountable. But I don't have to. John does an amazing job. And then my other business partner, whose name is John as well, one is John, the other one is Jon, John Turner. I worked with him at the radio station when I got into this industry initially, and we were friends for a long time. And then when I started my company, I called him up because I knew he was really good at processes. I knew he was really good at organizational and structure. I called him up and I said, "Hey, John, this is what I'm doing. I want to bring you on board. I'm going to give you a piece of the ownership. What are your thoughts?" And he was like, "Sounds like a plan." He came on board, and we've been killing it ever since.
So how I mean, in this 20 years of experience, you might have seen a lot of changes in technology development and in technology
Yeah.
evolution. So how you got adopted to it, and where you are in terms of technology today with your business?
So there's, from a technology standpoint, there's nothing we can't do, right? We've adapted with every single change that's came along. Like I was stating before, we have a complete omni-channel solution for people, whether it's mobile payments on the go, whether it's in-person brick and mortar, whether it is on your e-commerce. We can do that. We can do any of it. So over the years, how we adapted and changes is we've grown and we've made more partnerships and relationships with all the different software companies. In fact, with Sports Mentor, as I mentioned earlier, we've actually started going into developing our own software. So that is a huge step forward, that we'll soon be able to offer all kinds of different software that we own, that we basically said, "Hey, listen, we've been in the merchant processing industry. Here's all the great things that merchants want. Here's the things that they don't want, and we can build the software to kind of match it for them."
So why this name, Second Amendment Processing? Is this because you are in Army?
Well, no. So we believe in freedom, right? We believe in freedom, and multiple years ago, there was a mass shooting that had happened, right? And then you have Intuit, Square, PayPal, a bunch of other merchant processing companies out there that just canceled businesses from being able to accept firearms payments. And I don't believe in blaming an inanimate object. A gun doesn't kill people. People kill people, right? Just like a spoon doesn't make you fat. You got to use the spoon and shove your face full of food, right? So blaming the gun for what happened is no different than blaming the spoon for making somebody fat, right? That's how we viewed it. I went to several banks. We have multiple banking partners, and I asked them what their opinion was on the Second Amendment. And once I found the ones that aligned with my vision, my thoughts, we created Second Amendment Processing, and it's kind of blown up from there from a standpoint of like, we live in a very polarized political culture today, and so basically, the name like Second Amendment Processing, anybody that is a conservative business owner that believes in freedom and the values and ideals that built America, they naturally gravitate towards doing business with us. They just naturally do. Because I also own Wholesale Processing Systems, right? Which Wholesale Processing Systems is actually 3 years or 2 years older than Second Amendment Processing, but Second Amendment Processing is more than 10 times larger than Wholesale. Wholesale Processing was always like, we can beat your rate, we can solve these problems. With Second Amendment Processing, it's a much different feel. We're still making sure people are getting fair rates. We're still making sure that we're solving problems, but nobody normally calls me and just says, "What's your rate at Second Amendment?" They say, "Hey, we see who you are. We agree. We align with your values and mission, and we want to do business with you." And that's one of the things that that I love. I love my customers. Like, it's really easy to have a customer base that is all very like-minded. They believe in faith, family, and freedom, right? So when you have a customer base that is very like-minded, like we are, faith, family, and freedom, then it just makes it an easy to do business. We don't get a lot of we very rarely do we have problem customers or anything of that nature. People come to us based off what our name is. So normally with processing, people just have processing from a standpoint of, like whether they're buying Nike or Adidas or Under Armour. With us, we've actually built a brand name that people know about.
Okay, so what scale or what size of the businesses uh, potentially can benefit with your service?
All of them. All of them. We don't treat any customer differently, whether they're doing $1 a month or no processing, or whether they're doing $1 billion. When we have customers all across the spectrum, we have customers as small as a couple $100s a month, all the way up to several millions of dollars a month. So we don't have any. We treat everybody the same. It's been a philosophy of mine since starting the company and pushing the company in the customer service direction. So it doesn't matter. If you're a brand new startup company, we can help you. If you're been existing and established for a long time and you're looking for better solutions, you're looking for like-minded people to do business with, we can help you.
So what will be the processing in order to use your service, or in order to understand how your service actually benefits their business and their productivity?
Well, that's that's on an individual. There's no like one size fits all. That's on an individual basis. Not every business is not every business is the same. Every business is different. So we take on when we talk to a potential customer, we want to learn about their business. How do you do your reconciliation? What are your speed of your deposits now? We want to find out what problems we can solve to make things better. And every business has different unique challenges, and we customize solutions to fit those challenges.
So what are the problems that that you have solved that you feel proud of?
The problems that we fixed? Is that what you're asking me? So as far as the problems that we fixed that we're very proud of is, like I had said, that merchants used to have to punch in a bunch of merchant numbers and wait on hold. We've eliminated that, right? They can get a hold of us right away, right? That's something that I'm very proud of because I'm so pro customer service. Another thing that we do is, like I said, we call our customers, we thank them for their business. We don't just treat our customers like they're another number. We don't raise prices on our customers, right? There are so many other processors out there that every year they add a slight bump on whatever the costs are to a merchant, right? We don't do that. If we want to make more money, we go out and we get more clients. I don't believe in okay, I'm not making what I want to make, so I'm going to raise the price on all my current customers. That's a quick way to lose customers. We don't do that, right? So we solve that problem. In all of our agreements, it's stated that the price that we're charging you doesn't go up. With that said, sometimes interchange changes, and we can't control that. But our markup on above interchange, we never change, right? So that's a problem that we solve. Technology-wise, if they need a complete omni-channel solution, we have it available. We also do business networking to where if we know of a client that if I have a client and the client's sitting there telling me about, hey, I got an issue with my got an issue with my AC, right? It's hot summertime. I got an issue with my AC. I'm quick to tell them, hey, call this client of mine. He does business with us just like you do. Call him, right? Tell him, tell him that you're also a customer of ours, and he'll take good care of you, right? That helps, right? That helps our customer. That's the HVAC solution, and it helps our customer get somebody that's quality, right? So we believe in building those networking ties amongst all of our customers, because if we're all doing business with each other, everybody wins. So that's a that's a philosophy that we carry as well. Problem that we solve.
How many customers you have in total?
Over 5,000.
From from which place? From which geological location?
99% from the U.S.
So which state in US? Which
All of them.
province?
Well, no state. We all of the states. They're all we have clients in all states.
All states. So
Yep.
you work and you serve to other countries as well. How it works to other countries? The same?
So other countries are a little more challenging. We do have banks in other countries, and it's basically very similar. You know, we have some banking relationships that do global
Yeah,
underwriting for processing. They same thing. They send us the information. We figure out. Have conversations with them about finding out the best solution. We take that, we package it up, send it over to the bank for underwriting. Once it gets approved, we help with implementation so they can get up and going as well. Process isn't much different, other than sometimes, you know, like here in the United States, we have zip codes, and you guys and
yeah,
they're all numbers. In Canada, they got zip
correct.
codes that are like letters and numbers. So
Yeah.
you know that's a you know so we have to do some work on that end, so on and so forth sometimes, but not too it's not too much trouble.
So what are the basic and the fundamental questions that usually customers come with?
How fast do I get my money? Right, that's the number one question they come up with: is do I get my deposits next day? And with us, the answer is yes. They get the deposits next day. Um, are you doing any price increases? No, we don't do any price increases. Yeah, you know, like here in the United States, there's a lot of companies out there that'll give you a low introductory price to come in and get your business, and then 6 months later they raise the price. We don't do any of that. Um, that those are common. Another question is if they already have existing. Excuse me. If they already have existing point of sale systems, they will usually ask me if we're compatible with them, if we can integrate with them, and we can say we about 90-95% of everything we integrate with. So we say yes or no, and or if we don't know, we just find out whether we can integrate with them or not, or if there's a workaround, or if we don't integrate it with them, we start suggesting an alternative point of sale system and see if they're open to that.
Do you use AI?
Yes, yeah. So as far as using AI, we with the new changes from Visa when it comes to interchange, especially on a B2B, we use a lot of AI to help business owners optimize their interchange rates, which makes them lower, so that way they can get all the benefits of use of the AI. We also use AI in marketing, right? So again, we're not just looking to do your payment processing. We're interested in helping you grow your business. So we have in our point of sale system, we have an unlimited text message and email program, customer loyalty program built into the system. So you can constantly you constantly message your customers. Like if you come in and you buy something and I don't see you for a couple of months, we can have an automated text message that'll go out to the customer and say, hey, we haven't seen you in 60 days. We haven't seen you in 2 months. Come back in and get 10% off your next purchase, or whatever offer that the business owner wants to put in that text message in order to try to pull that customer back in.
So working for different industries and serving businesses which belongs to different industries and giving them the solutions, uh, how difficult or how challenging for you it is? Is it same to giving the solutions for
No,
businesses?
I would say at this point, having done this for so long, I would say it's not that difficult. I would say some industries are more of a challenge than others, especially like recently the peptide industry is exploding, and that's been really challenging and everything. And we found ways that we can get people approved for processing for peptides and everything. That one's really was a challenge, and we're getting constantly a bunch of peptide companies reaching out to us because so many processors have said we're not doing peptide processing anymore.
As a technologist, I am curious to know how you serve differently to different scale of businesses because when the application is being used or the payment processing is used by multiple users, the technology system works in a different way, right? So it won't be same,
Yeah.
right? So
So who's ever taken the payments? Obviously, like every cashier gets their own punch code that they log into their machine, so that way you can keep track of all their numbers for the day and how much they ran and what their opening of the till was, what the closing of the till was. Make sure there's no shortages. So we work on that. So like we set our, like if it's a gateway, right? Then the gateway, whoever is the administrator of the gateway, gives out however many people that they need to also do payment processing, and then they set their level of permissions of what they can or can't do within the system.
how much time you usually take to set up your service to any business?
Well, we had somebody come in today at 9 o'clock this morning that signed up as a new customer with us. They're already approved, and their equipment will be shipped out by 3 o'clock today.
Awesome.
So, yeah, some businesses take longer if they're more high risk. We have to do more due diligence on them. But that was a simple restaurant that just was. It's actually a food truck, and they already knew what equipment they wanted, everything like that. So it was really simplistic.
When comes to the payment thing or anything which is related to money, right? The security comes first. So, what do you say about security system in your service?
So we have a security system called Watchdog, right? Kind of funny. It kind of goes with the name of our stuff as well. Our security system has a set of parameters built into it to block spin attacks, right? Spin attacks are it's not a matter of if they happen, they're going to happen. And we have a system that blocks those. If somebody comes on there and they're trying to run on the same IP address and they're trying to run the cards multiple over, and there's a bunch of failures on those cards, they get blocked, right?
Okay.
So we have multiple layers in place that helps our customers ensure that they're not getting scammed or fraud or anything of that nature.
What is Sports Mentor?
Sports Mentor, I'm glad you asked about that. Sports Mentor, I'm really excited about. Actually, I actually got one. My USA Wrestling right here.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I was on the board for Michigan USA Wrestling, and I'm passionate about mentorship with youth. And so Sports Mentor. So Sports Mentor is, we take college athletes across all kinds of different sports, and we pair them with youth athletes for virtual mentorship, not coaching. They can give suggestions and things of that nature, but more just virtual mentorship, like how to handle a tough loss, right? How to not lose your motivation, how to stay motivated, how to keep your discipline in check to make sure you're still doing those things that you need to do to consistently improve, right? So, and then the nice thing about it is they are connecting with the college kid, right? So the college kid is actually even closer to their age, so it doesn't feel like a parental figure that is, or a coach that is, way older telling them as a little kid what to do. With Sports Mentor, I've seen some of the mentors be on their team bus and be traveling and doing a mentoring session right from their phone, right, virtual. And then the kid that they were mentoring was actually my grandson Curry, and he was asking like, what's going on? Well, why is it so loud in the background? He's like, I'm on the team bus, and he's showing him. He's like, we're going to wrestle against another college right now. And he's like, so you guys just get to travel and hang out like that? And he's like, yeah, this is what it's all about. You make it to this level, you make it to college, to be able to do this, and then yeah, you get team travel and you get to hang out with the guys and travel around. And he was like, this is awesome, and he was only like 7 at the time, so that raised his excitement about seeing what he could potentially accomplish, right? So, and then he just worked harder ever since. And so that's what that mentorship is about. That mentorship, another athlete that I'm very close with, Tori, she was, struggling every time she lost. She was mentally struggling. It was bothering her so much that it affected her wrestling the next match. Well, working with her mentor Veronica, she overcame that. Right? She overcame that. Veronica's like, hey, you're going to lose. It's about how you get up and you bounce back, right? And you can't get up and bounce back and do the best you can if you're mentally defeated. And so I love seeing those lessons that are passed and instilled because as a wrestling coach, the one thing I know is not every kid that I coach is going to make it to college. But every kid that I coach will eventually be an adult in society. And I want I want a strong-willed society of capable, competent adults that are pushing the envelope and making the world a better place.
So what's your team for sports mentor?
Well, we do a lot of stuff with Saw out of Lansing, the dealership that's out of Hudson, Michigan, and then Matt Psycho that's out of Brooklyn, Michigan. So those are kind of our three teams that we do a lot with. Kind of bounce back and forth between practices and so on and so forth. Saul is led by Nick Simmons, who was number 5, rated high as number 5 in the world. He's he's in the Michigan State Wrestling Hall of Fame. Then we have Boris down at the dealership. Boris was a NCAA All-American a couple of times. He was on the Bulgarian world team for wrestling. Then we have Coach Ward, combat veteran from Matt Psycho. So, we have a very good mix of variety, and I'm a firm believer that a kid should have more than just one coach. Should have multiple coaches, so that way they can be a sponge and learn from everybody that they can around them.
So you have worked for American Army and you are chief executive officer for this company, and you are a sportsman, a sports trainer. So how this diversity, what is that discipline that worked for you to work in multiple domains? And also another thing is, you are you are business work with the technology, and another industry also is there that you are integrated and you are involved in. So how this kind of a different experts in you are helping the world?
Sure. So first of all, I was in the Marine Corps, not the Army. But
Okay.
secondly, I'm a person. I'm a busy person, right? I don't let grass grow under my shoes. I always believe in doing more, right? I always believe in you're capable of doing things that you don't think you can do. Your mind always gives out before your body does. And I believe in developing a strong mentality, a strong mental mind, mental strength that you can push through and accomplish what your goals are. You put down your goals, you look at your goals, and you hit that goal. Then you achieve another goal, and then you achieve another goal. If you get, the old saying is, I moved 3 steps forward and I got knocked back 2, right? I look at that as like, you know what? I'm still 1 step ahead of where I started. That's the way I view life, right? So I'll move 3 steps forwards and let life knock me back 2, because I'm still 1 step above and still 1 step ahead of where I initially started. That's how I view life. That's how I view winning is actually accomplished.
So at last, what do you say about the new businesses or business owners who are watching this conversation from anywhere on this planet about Second Amendment processing?
Well, first I say congratulations, because owning and running a business is not an easy thing to do. It does take that mental fortitude I was talking about. There is no clocking in and clocking out. You're constantly on the clock as a business owner. So it takes that special mental fortitude and discipline to be able to accomplish that and make that happen. Second is, you heard in the podcast about how we handle and how we do business. And if you wanted to reach out to me, I'm sure you'll include all my contact details in the information for the podcast. And we love bringing on new customers. We love word of mouth. We love everything. We love our customers and watching and helping their business grow.
So I'm a professional sportsman as well. I played cricket for top level cricket sport in India for long time.
Okay.
And I played with national level players. I played under national level players captaincy 4 5 years ago, and I played. So apart from that, I'm a
Well, sign
technologist.
up for
I have
Sports Mentor. We have cricket listed on Sports Mentor. Sign up as a mentor for cricket. We cricket's actually listed on Sports Mentor. So
really
we have yeah. So let me look it up. We have a brand new. Let's see. We have a brand new like team here in Michigan. Uh, it's called the Detroit Super Lions. Yeah, I don't know if you've ever
okay,
heard of them. But yeah, they
okay,
have the yeah. I don't know here. I don't know if you can.
yeah, I can see that. Yeah,
Yeah, cricket and
Detroit Super
everything.
Lions.
Yep, yep. So yeah, so sign up. Be a mentor. We cricket is one of the sports that we have listed on there. There's so Sports Mentor is just not here in the U.S. You can actually use it globally.
Super. I will do that. Definitely. I believe that I can contribute through, and also working with a very disciplined person like you. It gives a lot of happiness and also personal satisfaction. And apart
Yeah,
from this, being a sportsman, I have done my master's in software engineering, also bachelor's in computer science and engineering. Right now, I'm working as a DevOps engineer for a London company remotely from India. So that's my full-time role. Apart from that, I'm interviewing experts like you who are solving business problems, who are solving technological problems, or who are solving problems which are related to humans. So I have done more than 860 plus interviews of 100 countries experts, including Amazon Web Services vice president and Salesforce vice presidents, and 200 plus chief executive officers, founders of different businesses, belongs to different countries and different parts of the world. So me having technological background, and having a sports background, and having these kind of conversations, how they build business from years and working and solving societal problems, and through their businesses, and coming up with the solutions like you, having these conversations, how this collectively diversified conversations experience as an interviewer, as an host, is going to helpful for me in my future and my career, as per your observation.
I think that first and foremost, I'm a big believer in conversation. Right, I love it when people sit down and they conversate, and we learn about we like I'm a huge believer in the sponge concept. Right, so I believe that you can learn from everybody around you. Right, so if you have that like a very open mindset to being able to learn from everybody around you, then you literally can I can learn everything that I didn't know that you were a professional cricket player until just a second ago, right? I didn't know that I should be talking to you about becoming a mentor on Sports Mentor. I didn't know that stuff. So, but because I'm here on your podcast, I'm learning, right? And I'm giving, like saying, hey, come on board, right? Come on board and be a
Yeah.
mentor to these young kids and help them grow. And as a mentor, we're not, the parents actually buy, once you build your profile, the parents actually buy sessions, so you
Okay.
get paid. You get paid for mentoring.
Great. That's
We're
a
trying to
great
help
thing.
out the
Thank.
college kids. Yeah, we're trying to help out the college kids put a little money in their pocket, as well as help out the youth.
Definitely, definitely. I'll share my profile as well, Thomas. And can you spell your website to my podcast listeners who are listening this on audio?
Sure. Our website is www dot the number two ndap.com. So it's secondap.com.
So can I put this conversation on my podcast with your permission?
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you, Thomas, again for giving me your valuable time and sharing about the solutions that you're coming up with, your business, which you are running from 20 plus years, and also the sports business that you are running, and also being a mentor and being inspiring, doing different things, and answering to some of my questions.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for inviting me on.
Thank you, sir. Again, take care.
Thank you. You too. Bye.